time to catch up with the nacelles and get them going a little bit. Once the PVA on these 4 bits had finished drying, I added these rectangular pieces for the LED tape, which are just literally rectangular slithers that I've cut out and used the same PVA to hold in place, and making sure of course that they're nice and vertically straight, because until that PVA dried you can't really do much with it. But now that is done, we can go ahead, take our nacelle pieces and LEDs and assemble it into a fairly final piece, go around, do all the seams using some putty, and then connect it to the strut pieces. Ideally, the way this will work is I'll finish off the nacelles all the way up to painting and maybe decals, but I'll probably leave those until I gloss the entire thing at the end. Then, once the nacelles are complete, I'll then assemble and attach the pylons, and then once that is done and I've tested it and everything looks good, we'll then add in the end engineering piece. And once that's done, we'll start work on the main engineering section, and then from there onto the saucer. But for now, we're just looking at the nacelles and getting those into a position where we can seal them up and see how they look when they're lit. When we're blacking these out, it's important that we don't spill any black onto the outside, as that will affect how the outside looks. So I'm just going to use some masking tape and some finer Tamiya stuff, mask off around the edges and completely across the other side, to make sure that when I spray this, it's only going to get black on the insides. And we're doing this because we don't want the nacelles, buzzards or anything like that to spill through and make it look like the light is shining through the plastic, because that's not exactly the desired effect we're going for. Masking stuff off for the blacking out isn't an exact art. It doesn't need to be incredibly neat, it just needs to be protective. As long as it protects it, it'll look just the same once you've taken it off, scrunched it up and thrown it in the bin. So in this case, I'm bringing the tape very neatly across the facing seam where the plastic's going to be glued together, and then just taking it down. And I'm going to do the same effect all the way around it, and as you can see, there's no way that the spray is going to be able to affect our underside. And it's just a case of working our way around bit by bit. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it's time well spent. Okay, all of the edges are now very effectively masked off, and to be on the safe side, what I like to do is just take some of this much wider masking tape and just lay down a protective strip just in case there's any back spray when we're actually come to spraying the thing. It's not going to affect the underside, it is just entirely to protect the hull. Indeed, I've got a couple of gaps, so I can just rip off some of this excess and just fill in the couple of holes I have. That is now ready to be sprayed, but of course there's no point spraying one at a time. We need to do all the other ones first. Alright, all done. Takes a little bit of time to set up, but totally worth it. Next time you see these, they're going to be on my spraying wheel, and I'll be hitting them with some matte black. With that done, in the next video, we're going to get the LEDs in there, wire them up, and we'll seal this thing. Bam! I won't do that again. I'm sorry.